Hey boys, welcome back to another NRL Supercoach video, and in this video, as the title will suggest, it's going to be a bit of an update video. So, on the right side there, we've got till round 1, only 6 days, boys. It's so close, I'm so keen. 6 days, 19 hours, so basically a week. Yeah, I've made quite a few changes, and I will be making probably a fair few more before the season kicks off, but I'm going to be doing a quick little update video. Also, the other main reason for this video is I want to do potentially do a bit of a Q&A for Supercoach, because I've had a few, in my other Supercoach videos, I've had a few people bring up certain plays or ask a pretty in-depth sort of comment, and it's obviously a little tricky to answer it properly in a comment, so I'm going to go back in my previous Supercoach videos, and any comments that I couldn't really answer fully in text, I'll pick those comments and I'll make a separate video. And also in this video, if you guys have any sort of players you want me to talk about, any positions or anything regarding Supercoach that you want to know or have any questions, anything Supercoach related, chuck them down in the comments section, and if I get enough of them, I'll make a separate video. If I don't get any comments, I probably won't do a whole video for it. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, you know, they can be very beginner, anything like that. Obviously, I'm not I'm not claiming to be the best Supercoach player in the world. I haven't won Supercoach, so I cannot claim to be that. But I feel like I know pretty well, and I've done pretty well in previous seasons. So I've got a little bit of experience and pedigree, shall I say? So not the best, but I do know a little bit about it. So yeah, if you guys have questions, put them down. But let's get into the team update here. So I've gone with I've stuck with Api Koroisau and Blake Brayley. I'm annoyed because it feels like everybody is now on Api Koroisau. There's a couple other podcasts that I watch, and originally, before the Nines, before anything had happened, everyone was talking up Cook still, and on the podcast anyway, they were all on Cook or maybe another gun dummy half, and a few of them were boo-hooing Api Koroisau. Couple of comments in the Facebook and stuff, people brought up oh, what do you think of Koroisau? And they were writing him off. And from the start, I had Koroisau, and I'm like, he's almost a must-have. And now the tables have turned. Literally everybody is on Koroisau. So you know, I was sort of expecting it. I'm like, you can't go past it. And obviously Blake Brayley is a given as well. There's obviously pretty big news with potentially young Grant from the Storm. The swap still might happen. And he might be playing at the Tigers. I still, even if he does, I don't think, I mean, obviously you got a choice to make if you wanted to go Brayley or Grant. I don't think you would go both of them. I think that's a little bit too risky. And I still probably would stick with Brayley. I think he's a quality player. So that's the only sort of thing there. But Koroisau, he's basically locked in. The only other potential here is if I don't think I'm going to do it, but if everybody is just going to go Koroisau, a guy that I was keen on, Jake Friend, is not. Let's just quickly have a look here. Jake Friend really piqued my interest at the start of the year. So if we go down here, he's very, very cheap. 414k for Jake Friend. He's only in 4% of teams, and Jake Friend's an absolute gun, dude. Absolute gun. About 100k more than Koroisau, and obviously the injuries are a concern with Friend. Last couple of seasons he's been riddled with serious injuries, but if he plays big minutes, Jake Friend is an absolute star, so he's very tempting. But obviously Sam Verrills also at the Roosters could take minutes away, but I think if Friend is fit Friend will play big minutes, and I don't know if Verrills is going to take much time off Friend. So I'm tempted. Because Friend 4%. If you go down here, Coruscant 23%, and I think that'll probably get higher and higher. So yeah, it's a potential, definitely. The front row has changed quite a bit. I've got Payne Haas. I don't think I had him at the start, but Payne Haas and Liam Knight is my other starting front row. Now, I had Pangai Jr. and Fafita, I think, at the start. I've sort of just gone off Fafita. I think the injury concerns are warranted and very troubling. Well, not troubling, but I worry about Fafita's minutes. And I sort of feel like Liam Knight at 437, I think he's, if he does get that starting lock spot, I think he's gonna play big minutes. He's got a big motor. He's also got a bit of something about him. He's a good player. He's a very good player. He's got an offload. He's got a tackle break. He's just a good player. So I think Liam Knight is a definite. Payne Haas definite. There are a couple of, Pangai Jr. I still wouldn't mind Pangai Jr. But I'm worried about the minutes for Pangai, and also just he's an erratic player. Pangai can have games where he goes 100, but then he can also have games where it's a bit low. So I think Liam Knight is just a safe option. Then we've got Zane Musgrove, who I think is pretty much a must-have. He's a cheapie. I think he's gonna play fairly big minutes for the Tigers. I think he's a good player. Back at the Rabbitohs before he had his troubles, he was a solid front rower for them. So I think the Tigers need him, and I think he'll do a great job. Patrick Carrigan, obviously, with Lodge being out for a long part of the season. Joe Offengowie. Carrigan, if he gets that starting lock spot, I think he's a very good pickup, and I'm tossing up though. I'm tossing up because there's a lot of guys around that price that you could go with, and Carrigan, again, he's a very good player. But it does, when Offengowie comes back, does Carrigan go back to the bench? There's a bit of worry there, but it's also, I don't think it's a real risk. I think Carrigan's still going to score well. And I think even if he goes back to the bench, I think he'll still get up around 400 plus. If he stays starting lock, I think he'll get, he'll increase a lot more than that. So I think the gamble is worth it with Carrigan. Then we move to the back row. Now the back row, I've gone very cheap, and I'm happy with the back row, but it's very cheap. Jai Arrow is my most expensive, $575. Arrow and Fafita for me are must-haves. Fafita, obviously. Jai Arrow, I think he's in for a big season. And then I've got Trent Merrin as my third back rower. Again, this comes down to team list Tuesday. We'll see what happens. But if Merrin gets that starting lock spot, he's a guy in the past. He's averaged 60, 70. He's obviously been a while since he's played NRL, and even back when he did, he wasn't that. Obviously, he had a bit of a rough season, but I think he still averaged about 50, 55. So I think Merrin is an absolute steal at 400,000. Again, if he doesn't get the lock spot, then he's gone. But if he gets a starting lock spot, I can't not go Merrin. Potentially, Merrin. Honestly, Arrow, Fafita, Merrin, they're definitely in my team. The reserves here: Jack Williams, Cohen Hess, and Tony Williams. Now, Tony Williams, he's just a cheapie. He should get a bench spot, so I've got him in there for now. Cohen Hess, again, if he gets that starting back row spot, I think he's a steal for 340,000, 354,000. And then Jack Williams for 400k if he gets a starting lock spot, which he should. Again, he's a fantastic player, but potentially, I'll talk about my backs in a moment, but I have spent fairly expensive on the backs, so I could definitely downgrade a couple of those guys and upgrade Williams or Cohen Hess to like a gun back rower. So I could have like Trent Mariner as a reserve and then bring in an actual gun in the back row with Arrow and Fafita. That's sort of what I'm looking at, because I do have a lot of money just in players that might not actually play for me, if you know what I mean. But yeah, we'll see. It does come down to who gets picked, really, who gets the spots. And I don't mind having guys that aren't going to be playing. And obviously, I don't really have my reserves set, but yeah. Then in the halves, we have Mitchell Moses. I think I'm gonna lock in Moses. I think I'm just gonna lock him in. I could flip flop back and forth between Cleary and Moses, but I feel like just lock him in. I think either way, if you go Cleary, if you go Moses, I think you're gonna go pretty well. I mean, you could you could go both of them if you had the cash, but I personally, I'm not gonna do that. Why? I don't know. I'm just not going to. And then at the moment I've got Jake Turpin. I talked about him in my halfback discussion. I think Turpin, starting dummy half in the halves, I think he could be a sneaky pickup for sure. But again, it comes down to what the Broncos go with, because it seems like Azarko could get the 14, and then McCulloch could also be on the bench. If that ends up happening, I might not go with Turpin, because then the minutes would worry me. But I don't know. It depends, because I just don't understand like what Seabold's gonna do, because I don't think McCulloch is a bench dummy half. That's the worry. Like, McCulloch is not a guy you could bring on for any sort of X factor. Like, he's not a guy to bring on for X factor. McCulloch is a starting dummy half, and Turpin would be ideal to come on as that X factor. Obviously, I want Turpin to start as a Broncos fan, and I think he should play big minutes. But if McCulloch's on the bench, it just doesn't make sense to me. Like, what? I don't know. It just, if they're both playing, it would make more sense for McCulloch to start and Turpin to be on the bench and come on as that spark. Like, McCulloch's not that type of player, so that's the worry. If McCulloch gets picked on the bench, I'm probably not going to go Turpin. I might go Ash Taylor for a sneaky pickup, potentially. He could have a big year. But there's some good options there for cheaper price for sure. So I could downgrade Turpin for someone. Let's have a quick look. This video is going to go on forever, like they usually do. Let's have a look actually. Who have we got? There's quite a few. Billy Walters. Billy Walters is coming out of the blue. But again, if everyone's going Walters now, but if Grant goes to the Tigers, then Walters is obviously not going to happen. But then Reynolds, I don't know. Again, I mean, if Billy Walters gets to the starting dummy half spot and Reynolds is on the bench, I could definitely go Walters as a cheapie. I think that's a pretty good option, and it would give me a lot more money. Matt Burton could get the starting spot instead of Luai for sure. So that's a wait and see as well. Ash Taylor, like I said, I think is a pretty good pickup. George Williams as well. I'm a bit off George Williams though. I just worry. I don't know. Getting a guy that isn't going to goal kick, who isn't proven. I mean, Ash Taylor at least is going to goal kick, so I don't know. If I had to choose Taylor or Williams, I'd probably go with Ash Taylor, in all honesty. And then obviously Turpin, and then we get into some more expensive guys. But yeah, that's what it is for now. It's, yeah. Again, it comes down to who gets picked. At the moment, Sean Johnson 5'8", Luai backup 5'8". If Luai gets the spot, I'm going to go with Luai. But again, there's some very good options. I talked about AJ Brimson is a very, very tempting option. And then Johnson, Johnson. It's a tough one. It's a tough one because I'm a bit worried about Johnson. He hasn't looked very good, and I was very tempted to go with Cody Walker, but I've sort of gone off Walker. For me, it's out of Johnson and Walker, and I don't know. I honestly don't know. I think I'm going to just stick with Johnson because he's got the goal kicking. Cody Walker doesn't, so I just feel safer with Johnson. I think Walker has a few more lower scores in him, but yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. It's a tough one for sure. And then our back line, like I said, I've got a lot of money in the back line, and I'm not the back line is definitely the toughest. The center wing is incredibly tough this year. I don't know what I'm going to do. Zach Lomax is a definite for me. Lomax is definitely in the back line for sure. Isaiah Yo, I think, is almost a definite for me. He's 400k. In the trial, he played at lock and he looked pretty good. And if he plays lock, he plays big minutes. Again, though, it'll be interesting to see where James Fisher-Harris plays. If Yo maybe goes back to the back row, Liam Martin goes to the bench. I don't know. It's a tough one. Again, sort of dictates who gets picked where. But if Yo gets picked at lock, I don't know. I don't know if I can go past a guy at 400k playing in the forwards. It's just safe points, you know. And I feel like because the backline is so tough to pick this year, I feel like a safe 50 points is very handy. It's very handy. And then Nick Kotrick, I've got him here for now, but I'm not that keen on Kotrick. I don't know. There's a few options. There's a few options that are a bit cheaper. I know a lot of people are going Shibazaki. Let's have a quick look here. There's a couple of cheapies that might get a run, but obviously fairly dubious at this stage. Like, there's no cheapies, so it's a bit of a gamble. They're a bit more expensive. Who have we got? If we keep going up here, Jamin Salmon could get a spot. I don't know though. Maybe Tane Milne. I don't know. The Warriors just don't like him apparently. I think Milner's a really good player, but he can't get a game for the freaking Warriors, dude. Tautau Moga could have been a good pickup, but he's injured for a couple of rounds. Tristan Saylor doesn't look like getting picked. Jason Saab doesn't look like getting picked now either. Callum Watkins, honestly, Callum Watkins, he's very tempting. You know what? I'm going to make that call right now. I'm not confident in Kotrick going that well. I'll be honest, I'm not confident at all with Kotrick. Callum Watkins, I'm not confident he'll go that good either. But, I mean, he averaged 32.5 last year, and he was, obviously, his first year, he didn't look that good, but he's got some pedigree, he's got some class. 270,000, it's not a bad price. Then you've got, Shibazaki there, 280. I'm not really a fan of Shibazaki. I really didn't like him at the Broncos, but, I don't know, maybe. Kurt Mann, he could be a sneaky pickup because he's playing, he's a risk as well because I think he's playing 5'8", but I don't know if that's the best spot for Mann, and I wouldn't be surprised if he gets dropped. So, Branko Lee has sort of snuck up because he might get the spot there at the Storm. And honestly, if Branko Lee gets the starting spot, I think, excuse me, I think I'm going to go Branko Lee because he has got some serious upside. He just offloads, and that's what you want. So, yeah, that's the conundrum right here. And then David Fusatua, it's a gamble, and I don't know if I'm going to go with it, but at the moment I'm pretty keen on Fusatua. I think he could be in for a good year, but I don't know. I could easily go Fusatua. honestly, if it goes like this, if Brenko Lee gets the starting spot, Fusatua is probably going to go out for Brenko Lee. If Brenko Lee doesn't get in the team, then I'm still... I've also... Well, what have I got now? So I've got a... Let's have a look. Who can I get for Fusatua? I've got quite a bit. I've almost got 500k. So let's have a look here. We can get someone pretty decent. But again, this is what I was talking about. If I downgrade a couple of backs, I could get like a genuine gun instead of Jack Williams or Cohen Hess. So it's a decision, because who was around this price? I mean, Wanga Blake is injured. Tim Laffey, James Roberts maybe. I don't know. Kurt Capel. I don't think so. Curtis Scott, I don't know about that one either. Philip Sammy is very expensive. Josh Mansour, maybe. Jesse Ramian. I mean, all these guys, I'm sort of like, you would just go someone cheaper. Like, I don't think... Katoni's... Honestly, out of these, Braden Burns, Katoni Staggs, Joseph Manu, there's a few guys for sure that they could come into calculations, but... Yeah, it's a wait and see. Honestly, I hope Brenko Lee just gets the starting spot and I can go him. And then, as you see, Bradman Best, I've still got him in the team because I think when he comes back from injury, I feel like he's going to come back into the team. So I'm just keeping him for now unless a couple other guys come through. Tommy Talau, I've got him for now, but he's probably going to get switched out. And then Xavier Coates probably going to get switched out as well if he doesn't get named. And then I've got Tom Trbojevic and Pappenhausen. I think I'm pretty locked in for the fullbacks. The only decision, honestly, is if I go Tom Trbojevic or Kalen Ponga. Because I feel like Tedesco is just a bit too expensive. And I'm like, Tom Trbojevic is going to average just as much as Tedesco. So why would you go Tedesco over Trbojevic? And then if I go Ponga, that frees up a lot more money. So that's the only issue. So at the moment, Tommy T and Pappenhausen. So that's the updated team. A lot of decisions to make. Mainly in the back line. It heavily relies on who gets picked. And then the main decision from there is, do I upgrade a Fusatua to a potential gun? Or do I upgrade a Cohen Hessel Williams to a gun? Because let's look at it now. 149k. If I get rid of Jack Williams, I'm going to have 546. I could get someone pretty good for that. I can't get any of the top liners, which is unfortunate. But Viliami Kikau, Pengai Jr., Tohu Harris could be a sneaky pod for sure. 1%, dude. It's not a bad shout. Angus Crichton, I had him originally, but annoyingly, he's playing in the freaking centers. At the moment, I can't. If I just do it like this, I can't really get anyone too amazing. But if I downgraded Fusatua to someone cheaper, I could definitely upgrade to someone better. So yeah, we'll see. But that's what I've got for now. It's a wait and see at the moment. But the team it's coming together. I'm happy with the core team. There's just a few things that need to happen, and then yeah, I'm worried though. I'm worried for this year. I'm very worried. I don't know how I'm gonna go. Honestly, it's a lottery for sure. I think I'm going with a few outlib picks, and it could be our downfall. But also, let's have a quick look at leagues. I do want to set up a league. Okay, so it's yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember. I'll create the league, and I will post the code in the comments section below. So all you'll have to do is, even if you've already made a team, you can just go to the tab here, go to league, and you click on this one, join league, and you'll like put in the code and you can join the league. Even if you're in another league, I'm pretty sure you can join. Oh yeah, so it looks, I don't know. Oh yeah, you can join 1 out of 10 leagues, I guess. So you can join multiple leagues. I'll probably create a couple of leagues, I think, if I can do that. I'm pretty sure you can. So yeah, like I said, I'll post the code in the comments section so you guys can join the league. Obviously, it's first in gets the spot. So if there's a heap of people that want to join the league, unfortunately, some people might miss out. But obviously, you know, play along still. Don't quit. I always like to see how you guys go. You can post in the comments how you're traveling if you're not in the league. But yeah, that's the video done and dusted. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed the little update. I'll be doing another one before the season kicks off, and then pretty much go time. So make sure to like and comments, and I'll see you guys in the next one.